Hello everyone, JRDeal96 here with a brand new video. As you can tell by the title, it's another Q&A video. Now, it's been over 2 years since I've done a Q&A. Technically, almost 2.5, because I filmed the last Q&A in California back in December 2021 and uploaded it a month later. But here we are now in 2024, and based on where I am, I'm on a cruise this time. Now, it's kind of reminiscent of the very first Q&A I ever did, which was when I went on the Norwegian Escape cruise to Bermuda. But on this cruise, I went to Alaska, based on my shirt, as you could tell. So, we got a couple questions from Instagram DMs and also a YouTube community post, because I also put it up on my YouTube community, page. Only got one comment. It was actually while I was on the cruise itself. So let's get started, shall we? Abigail.J8500 says, have you reacted to Markiplier's Observation Duty series? If not, I think you'll love it. Honestly, I don't think I've reacted to Mark's Observation Duty series yet. I did react to Sean's, Jacksepticeye's. You know, the ones he did with Evelyn? Yeah, I did react to some of those, but I've not watched Mark's because I think it's also because of the fact that most of them are long, pretty lengthy, and I want to try to record as many videos as possible throughout the night during a recording session, but I will try my best to get to that series at some point. Hopefully. Let's hope so. Laura Rossi, hopefully I pronounced that right, says in a DM on Instagram, who's your favorite ego out of all the ones you've done? I probably have gotten this question a couple times and I change my answer every time. So out of all the 5 characters that I have done, Xander, JR Die, JD Thrift, Wikipedia, and Dr. Spindler, it's honestly hard to choose one. I have a lot of fun whenever I do skits involving these characters. Like JR Die is super fun, especially when you're trying to act like a maniac and doing all the crazy stuff. Xander's also a lot of fun too, especially trying to be as sardonic and charming at the same time. I don't know. JD Thrift is also fun, but also hilarious because I just say the stupidest shit. Like, I remember dry humping a camera, a Polaroid camera, because a fan made it a running gag with me for some reason. I do not know why. Dr. Spindler is really important to me because I named him after my late grandfather, who was Robert Spindler. And heck, I'm even wearing my grandfather's bracelet right now, which is a part of my Dr. Spindler character. So he is really special to me. Wikipedia was actually a fan creation, if you didn't know. So around the time when I did JR Die in August of 2017, this one fan DM'd me and said, hey, I thought of a cool character idea for you, kind of similar to Googleplier and stuff. And I'm like, alright, what do you have? And the person said, oh, something like Wikipedia. And I'm like, that's actually really cool. Like, I think I kept saying it too because the person was in my Instagram live stream chat a lot. And I've mentioned, like, Google is taken, Bing is taken, what about Wikipedia? And I'm pretty sure the person got inspired by that to do a character like that. I remember them creating like fan art, concept art of what the character would look like. Wikipedia has circuitry going up his body, up his head, and on his arms. I'm like, and he's wearing the same exact outfit. I'm like, dude, that is awesome. So I took that, base design of him wearing the vest and the dress shirt and black slacks, and made it into the character. So I'm really, flattered by that. The fact that that character was created mostly by a fan. But honestly, to answer your question, I know it's been a while. I could have gotten to this point, but honestly, it's really hard to really decide and narrow it down to one. For the fun aspect, I would say maybe Xander or JR Die. And for really, what's really special to me, Dr. Spindler. Hopefully that answers your question. Because honestly, it's really hard to actually choose one. James Byrne 211, hopefully I pronounced your last name correctly, says, what's your favorite Antisepticeye moment of all time? To be honest, I kind of came late to the Antisepticeye party around August 2017. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people would always go with the say goodbye video or the PAX East video, but honestly I think it has to be the BioInk Redemption video, because that was really the first time, especially when I really started to pay attention to the whole Antisepticeye character, and that happened. I remember that day vividly. That day when that video came out, I was at the DMV, finalizing getting a used car, a brand new used car. So I remember that day very vividly. And I remember he had t-shirts also made as well for it. So I was like, wow, that whole video, especially with the build-up. When Dr. Schneepelstein came in and started doing the BioInk Redemption game, and the subtle glitches that would start at first and then it just escalates. And escalates while in the game, Jacksepticeye, dies, and it's just, and then Antisepticeye takes over, and just, still, one of my favorite lines from that damn video is when Anti goes, "Mocking me with your glitch, bitch." Just, that line is one of my favorites, and even afterwards, I think another good one was, what he originally was saying was, "I am eternal," but it just sounds like he's saying, "I am eternal." But overall, his appearance in the BioInk Redemption video alongside Dr. Schneepelstein is my favorite Antisepticeye moment of all time. Marin Kills says, have you ever had a bad experience on a cruise? That is really a good question. And it's kind of hard to really say because I've only been on now 4 cruises in my entire lifetime. My very first cruise was when I was 2 years old back in 1998. I don't remember the name of the cruise line that my family went on. My next cruise that I would go on would be in 2010 when I was 14 years old on the Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas. The cruise ship was nice, of course, and the food was really delicious. And the locations that we went to, like the Grand Cayman Islands and Cozumel, Mexico, where I actually got that Rey Mysterio mask. That was amazing. Then I went on the Norwegian 8 years later, the vlog series that I have on my YouTube channel, and where I did the very first Q&A. That Norwegian escape vlog was me going down to Bermuda and back from New York. That was really fun. The fact that I was able to actually vlog it in some aspects, even though the camera was absolute crap in terms of the microphone, but the fact that I was able to capture some of the stuff was awesome. Now with this cruise, with the Norwegian Bliss, not only flying to Seattle and going to Alaska, now to honestly answer that question, I don't know if you want to call this a bad experience, but I want to say it's kind of like a nitpick that I have with this cruise, especially the Norwegian Bliss. Now, don't get me wrong, I have had a blast on this cruise, but the problem I've had is when it comes to going to these different locations. So I'll give you a reason why. Back on day 4, which is where we were in Juneau, Alaska, we arrived there at 6:30 a.m., but we had to be back on ship by 12:30, and we would be departing at 1:30 p.m. So pretty much we only had 7 hours at Juneau, which is where I went to see the Mendenhall Glacier, which is fun. But then, I went to Ketchikan on day 6. We arrived at 6 a.m., but then we had to be back on ship by 12:15 and would be departing at 1:15. We only had 6-7 hours there too. And then Victoria, British Columbia on day 7. We didn't arrive to Victoria, British Columbia until 8 p.m. And we only had 3 fucking hours there. We had to depart at 11:59, literally midnight. We only had 3-4 fucking hours in Victoria, British Columbia. That sucks. That's what really sucked. If you want to talk about bad experiences, or in terms of this nitpick I have, just we didn't have enough time to spend in some of these areas like Juneau and Ketchikan, Alaska, and also Victoria, British Columbia in Canada. We didn't have enough time over there. So that, I don't know if you want to call it a bad experience, but that's really the best I can really give you, honestly. Anyways, I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent, so I hope that answers your question. Hopefully. Edgy Omen says, if you were to stay in one universe, fandom-wise, which would it be and why? P.S. It's Billy. Hope you're having fun. Okay. What universe, fandom-wise, would I stay in? I might have answered this question before, I don't remember. But sometimes I like to change my answer sometimes because it depends on, how I feel now. I might have said something different years ago because of, at the time. But honestly, now, I would like to live maybe in either the Jacksepticeye Ultiverse or Markiplier's Adventure Universe, like the In Space with Markiplier or Heist or, A Date with Markiplier. Just that universe alone, especially the In Space with Markiplier one, I would love to be in, even though I might die a bunch of times and be in time loops over and over again. And in terms of like the Ultiverse, especially being part of this weird organization, Iris, like just how weird it is. Like I just recently bought the second set of, ish comic books for Marvin the Magnificent and Jackaboy Man that came out recently. So I'm hoping to get my hands on those and read those. So I might, live in either the Ultiverse of Jacksepticeye or Markiplier's Choose Your Own Adventure universe. That's really the best I can give you, honestly. They just both seem interesting to, be in, I guess. Hopefully I answered your question and everything. And yes, I've had a lot of fun on this cruise. _lonely_moth has 2 questions. First, what's your MBTI? Which I believe is the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, which is like some weird personality test. And also, do you know how to draw? Now, let me answer this question first. I have not drawn in maybe a decade. Honestly, I think I might have been a decent artist. Not the greatest artist in the world. Like, my brother is just insane, some of the artwork he's done. But the fact that I haven't done it in a long time is probably the best way to say no. So I'm sorry. But when it comes to your first question about the MBTI, I don't honestly know what my MBTI is. I guess you could say my personality. But I'll give you something here. Recently I did Ancestry DNA. Now I know it could be very skeptical at times. I got my results a day or two ago. If you want to know what my nationalities and ethnicities are estimated at, I'm apparently 34% Germanic Europe, which is essentially 34% German. I'm 26% Ireland, which I kind of get from my biological father because he was Irish. I'm 15% Scotland. I am 11% England and Northwestern Europe. And I'm also 7% Sweden and Denmark. I am 3% Norway and Wales. And I am 1% Eastern Europe and Russia. Now, I know this could be very skeptical and kind of hard to believe, but I kind of believe the first two. And I've always said this. I'm half German and half Irish. Like, I feel like I'm mostly German because of my mom. But I kind of believe mostly the German and Irish aspects of me. But I don't know about Scotland and Northwestern Europe and Sweden and Denmark. Like, I don't know how Ancestry works. All you gotta do is just spit in this little vial and up to a line and then wrap it and ship it to them, and then they have to, it takes like a couple weeks to actually break it down and, analyze the DNA. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But overall, I really don't know what my MBTI is. But the best thing I could do right now is give you my Ancestry DNA results. I don't know if it's the best idea. Honestly, I don't know if I should really believe the majority of that results. But I will believe the first two, which is my German and Irishness. I don't know what my MBTI is right now. And I haven't drawn in 10 years, so I most likely don't know how to draw at this point. So I hope I answered both of your questions correctly. Cutie Plier 1995 Edits has 3 questions. First, are you excited for the Iron Lung movie? The second one, who are your top 5 favorite Markiplier egos? And third, what is your favorite Pokemon? And shiny Pokemon if you have one. Now let me answer the first one. The Iron Lung movie. Am I excited for it? Absolutely. The fact that this is his first full-length feature film that he's made based on a indie horror game based on the same name. I'm really excited to see what he does.
Wow, I am so excited for the Iron Lung movie. It's gonna be awesome because Wilford knows what's best.
Hey, get the fuck out of my shower, you fucking creep! Why are you back?
You better face the rainbow, motherfucker.
Get the fuck out of here! Anyways, don't mind him. He's such a nuisance anyway.
How dare you?
So, for your second question about my top 5 favorite Markiplier egos, man is that tough. Man is that tough. Damn, man, this is hard. But I think I got my top 2. And honestly, sometimes I like to flip-flop both of them. So number 1 and number 2 is Darkiplier and Wilford Warfstache. Yes, Wilford Warfstache. The same creep that I just bashed in my shower. That I just said to get the fuck out of there.
He's a dick. He's got such a hard on for Darkiplier.
You know, that guy. And also Darkiplier, because of that kind of became the catalyst for me getting into cosplaying and stuff. So those are my top 2. But now number 3, 4, and 5. Those are the toughest ones. Number 3, I think, will be Damien. Yes, I know Damien is Darkiplier. I know eventually he's Darkiplier, but still, Damien in Who Killed Markiplier and also in Damien was also pretty cool. If you want to consider him a separate character in some aspects, yes, I know he becomes Darkiplier eventually. But I don't fucking care. This is my list. Number 4, Engineer Mark from In Space with Markiplier. I don't know what it is. The fact that he was pretty much our partner throughout this crazy chaos known as In Space with Markiplier. It's not because of his... Don't. It's not because of that, which I think would be most people's cases of why he would be their favorite or whatever. I think he just... Especially that the part at the end when you refuse to let go of him. And his little speech at the end where he's like, I spent an eternity in hell fixing this stupid machine and you threw it all away! And him going, Captain, I'm tired. And he said, thank you for not giving up on me. Like, just, you never gave up on me. Just, you felt that connection with him. So that's why I would consider him one of my favorites. And number 5, honestly, is Yancey. And honestly, the reason why is because it's hilarious. Though, because I honestly can't take Yancey seriously with that voice that Mark does for him, which is, did you use this? Like, just the way he has to talk like he's from New York or New Jersey. You know, just the dumb accent he puts on. It's just hilarious. So my top 5 Markiplier egos are Darkiplier, Wilford Warfstache, Damien, Engineer Mark, and Yancey. And when it comes to your third question about the Pokemon, I know why you probably asked me this. Because a few months ago, I bought Pokemon Sword because I just wanted to try it and see how it is. Because I've never really gotten into the Pokemon series. I've only played maybe one of the Game Boy Color Pokemon. I think it was Pokemon Yellow, the one with Pikachu on it. But I wanted to try it here with Pokemon Sword. But honestly, I haven't had the time to actually play it. You know? I've been really busy with other things in my life that I haven't had time to actually play it. So I honestly don't know what my shiny would be. But in terms of what my favorite Pokemon is, my favorite Pokemon, honestly, I think it's pretty obvious and I'm pretty sure it's everyone's favorite, Pikachu. It's because Pikachu is the face of Pokemon. The face of the franchise. But you know what I mean? Like, honestly, Pikachu is my favorite Pokemon. But if you don't want to count him, honestly, my other favorite Pokemon, Mewtwo, Charizard, Jigglypuff, I know, it's stupid. But some of these Pokemon I know mostly from the Super Smash Bros. Games. So honestly, I think my favorite other Pokemon are Mewtwo, Charizard, Squirtle, and Jigglypuff. Those are my 5 favorite Pokemon, you could say. So I hope I answered all your questions. So let's move on. Hothouse.ali says, I know this might be a very common question, but if you were allowed to go back in time and say one thing to your younger self, what would you say? Now that's honestly a very difficult question to answer. What would I really say to my younger self? Like, at what point in my younger life would I go to? Like, that's another good one. Would I go back to when I was like maybe 15 years old? Would I go back to when I was 10? That's like the toughest part of the question. So what would I really say to my younger self? Honestly, I would say to my younger self, everything will be alright. You'll have a happy life. And I'm pretty sure he'll be like, oh my god, I actually have a beard now? I'm pretty sure he'd be surprised at my beard that I have. And the fact that I still have a full head of hair. But that's honestly what I would say to my younger self. Everything will be alright and you'll have a happy life. And Lindsay Brown _1994 asks, if you can fight any of your egos in any type of stipulation WWE match, who would it be and why? Also, boombox compensation. Teehee! That last part. Even though it's been how long since that happened? Me and her were playing Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. And I remember, usually my boombox at the last second on the finish line, because I had it and I was like, alright, let me just use it to get it out of my way, and because I'm about to win. I had no idea that Lindsay was behind me, so that's when it became a boombox compensation. And the fact that the compensation part kind of originated from Terrorizer's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe series. At one point he was like, lag compensation! Because of internet lag or whatever. But that's the origin of that. So to go back to your actual question, which ego of mine would I fight in a WWE match? Honestly, I don't know if I would fight any of my characters, but I would like to see some of my characters actually fight each other in a stipulation in WWE. I would like to pit maybe finally the matchup that everybody probably doesn't really want, but I've been building up towards. JR Dye versus Wikipedia in a Hell in a Cell. Or, JR Dye versus Xander in a Bloodline Rules match. Because I would think, especially with a Bloodline Rules match, anything goes. Or it's just essentially a hardcore match, anything goes. Another good stipulation for JR Dye versus Xander, Hell in a Cell, Inferno match, Buried Alive match, Boneyard match. Something like that. Honestly, if I had to fight one of my alter egos, I would fight JR Dye in a Firefly Funhouse match. I swear to you, that Firefly Funhouse match that Bray Wyatt, rest in peace, had with John Cena at WrestleMania 36 in 2020 was one of the most bizarre, weird acid trips I've ever been on in my life. The funniest part of that whole thing is that Vince McMahon puppet going, "This is such good shit!" Like, I could totally picture, JD Thrift as commentator going, "This is such good shit, man!" I just picture just the weirdness of that match. Like, I could put JR Dye through his own personal hell or whatever. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I would fight JR Dye in a Firefly Funhouse match. Matches that I like to see my characters fight in. JR Dye versus Xander in either a Hell in a Cell, Buried Alive, Boneyard, Bloodline Rules, JR Dye versus Wikipedia in a Hell in a Cell. So that's honestly what I would do. So honestly, I would fight JR Dye in a Firefly Funhouse match. So anyways, that's all the questions for today. I'm honestly kind of surprised that I didn't get more wrestling questions, like wrestling opinions, like, what do you think about WWE right now? Or what do you think of AEW? What do you think of TNA? What do you think of this? What do you think about CM Punk? What do you think about, the whole thing with Cody Rhodes or whatever? And especially now, what do you think about Logan Paul going after Cody Rhodes for essentially the WWE Championship at King and Queen of the Ring? Honestly, it was kind of bound to happen when you think about it. I kind of found it surprising, but you know what? Do I see Logan Paul winning that match? I kind of highly doubt it, but then again, it wouldn't surprise me. But Cody's obviously going to retain. But honestly, now they're kind of teasing the fact that it could be for both titles. Does Cody Rhodes really need the United States Championship? He has the WWE title. But anyways, that's really all the questions that we have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. So let me know in the comments what your favorite Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and myself alter egos are your favorites. And also let me know what your favorite Pokemon are in the comments. So If you like what you saw here, hit the like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Be sure to ring that bell to be part of the notification squad. Be sure to check out my Instagram because I make cool edits of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, even myself. I also do actors the cosplays on there, so go check it out. And be sure to check out my Tumblr and my Discord in the description as well. So until next time, JRDeal96 signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Who's down here?